let's say I threw a really bad interception. I would walk to the sidelines. I said, "You are the worst quarterback in the world. How could you possibly make that throw? That was terrible."
Right.
But I just don't want to be so critical because in some ways I don't necessarily know exactly what the problem was on that play. If, let's say, Daniel Jones throws an interception. I didn't mean to say it like that.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
Wait a minute.
That's what I'm trying to say, Tom.
I wasn't even being critical of Daniel Jones.
Right.
Maybe I was a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
Tom in front of a crowd of New Yorkers. That was Tom Brady with Stephen A. on this weekend's Fanatic Fest, and his words very foretelling when he spoke Friday. Daniel Jones returned to the field on Saturday for the first time since his ACL injury and was less than impressive. He threw 2 interceptions on back-to-back possessions, including a pick 6. Just want to mention quickly before I get to you, Stephen A., I was lucky to get to see that live, your sit-down interview with Tom Brady. Excellent on both ends, and that full interview is going to air on the Stephen A. Smith Show on YouTube later today. All right, let's dive in. Was this a bad game or a bad sign for Danny Dimes?
Both. It was kind of embarrassing, fellas, how Brian Dable tried to paint it. Well, you know, as the game progressed, he got better. Well, guess what? You know, it's a preseason game, all right? If it's a regular season game and you threw those picks, you'd be out of commission. You'd lose the game. And so you look at Daniel Jones. I mean, we have to take into account the totality of his situation. Saquon Barkley didn't get his money because they gave it to Daniel Jones. They invested in Daniel Jones instead of investing in their best player. We understand he plays the quarterback position. It comes with a different responsibility. It's the most important position on the field, some would say. And as a result, that's why they did it. But nevertheless, it is what it is. Last year, the New York Giants offense ranked 29th. They ranked 30th in points, 30th in third downs, 31st in red zone touchdown efficiency. They are awful. The only thing we're going to be talking about with Brian Dable's New York Giants this year is the fact that he looks good because he lost so much damn weight. That's about it. There's nothing to write at home about the New York Giants. They are just not going to be impressive. Since picking Daniel Jones, 6th overall in 2019, the Giants are tied for the 4th worst record in the National Football League, winning just 35% of their games with 1 playoff appearance in 5 years. And this guy had the lowest interception percentage in the NFL at 1.1% last year. You know why? Because ain't nobody thinking about him throwing a football. He's one of those quarterbacks, you just want to do what you can to prevent him from throwing the damn football because you're waiting for a mistake to happen. I hate to say that about him because he seems like such a nice guy, but there is no progress that's been made with Daniel Jones as your quarterback. It's a bad game, and it's a bad sign because the Giants are going to have a bad season, period.
Dan?
Stephen A., I think the thing is, when you look at it, we are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, it's not a singular act, it's a habit. So have we seen more plays like this, or have we seen more touchdown plays from Daniel Jones? You see, the job of a quarterback is not to make a bad situation worse. I think a lot of, Danny, you can attest to this, a lot of what a quarterback does, he has to be able to manage chaos. When things are getting hectic, when things are going haywire, he needs to be the calm. He needs to be the voice of reason. He needs to be the stabilizer that's on the field. You're going down. Okay, if you get sacked in the end zone, you intentional grounded, that's only 2 points. You throw a pick 6, that's 6 points. Now they're going to come on, tack on the field goal. So now, the PAT, now you're down 7-0. And then you follow that up. More times than not, if you throw pick 6s, more times than not, when quarterbacks throw pick 6s, the team lose. Go look at the percentage of you throw a pick 6, you winning that game versus you losing that game. Daniel Jones, this is who he is. He parlayed that half a good season in which they went to the playoffs, they won a playoff game, into a $40 million, 4-year, $160 million contract. Their best player was Saquon, but they didn't value the running back position. They put their eggs in one basket, which is Daniel Jones, and now you're praying. You're hoping you don't trip on the way to the market and crack all your eggs. Now, they have an outstanding talent outside, Malik Neighbors. He's phenomenal, but I'm not so sure that we're going to be able to see him maximize what he can do, considering who's throwing him the football. This is who Daniel Jones is. because since he's been in New York, this is what we've repeatedly seen him do.
Shannon, that's exactly why I did what I did like 16 years ago and just took the 2 points and not throwing the pick six just because I saw the math difference. So that's why I made that decision, just to make sure. Yeah,
So in other words, when you ran out of bounds, you didn't run out of bounds to take the safety. You ran out of bounds to take the safety. You were not. You were completely aware of the fact that you were out of bounds.
Math guy.
You were completely aware.
Yeah, math guy. 1, worst case scenario for the Giants. 2, worst performance of the preseason. Okay? The highs aren't high enough to continue to have these lows show up. And that's the problem for Daniel Jones and the Giants. Daniel Jones has been 2 things ever since he was a prospect coming out of school and his time with the Giants. Stephen A., I agree with you. He's a great human being by all accounts that we know of. 1, too deliberate with the ball. He's too obvious with what he's doing. First play should have been a pick six to Stingley.
That's
he just
right.
dropped it. And then that pick six interception, Daniel's always panicked with the ball. And I know that's the fine line, Shannon. You know this of like, what makes this a first play? Stingley could add another one. He just dropped it. And the pick six that actually happens, he gets in those moments, and for as smart of a human being that he kind of comes across as, the decision of like, dude, just throw the ball in the ground. Just throw right when he makes that first pump fake here. Just throw it in the ground there. It plays dead. But he's like that panic sets in, and then the pick six.
Right, yes.
Yeah, so like, and I'm trying to be fair with the vantage point of it's his first time playing since the ACL, and I get all that. But if you're a Giants fan, you've seen this too much. That's the problem. It's the same mistake 5-6 years in his career. And I said this morning. He hasn't thrown for 3 touchdowns in a game, Molly, since 2019. You know, people talk about Josh Allen and the turnovers. Yeah, Josh is going to account for like 50 touchdowns, though. So you can, like, you not gloss over, but you forgive some of those what the heck moments. Daniel doesn't have that. And that's where you're sitting there if you're the Giants. You're going, Drew Lock's hurt, so you really can't, like, push Daniel. It's disappointing that it continues to rear its ugly head for them.
But here's the thing, what you said, Dio, is that you said it's his first game back since coming off the ACL. This is not his first game playing quarterback.
Fair.
You know immediately. Once you do that down flat, you see that safety out there, I got nothing. I throw the ball at the tight end's feet, I move on to second down, it's 2nd and 10. That's what you do. You also, as a quarterback, you have to calculate, okay, what are my opportunities? Because once you let him go, the safety has him covered.
Yeah.
So now what are you going to do with it? Tell me what you're going to do. Yeah, maybe he was trying to throw the ball out of bounds. He gets hit, got something taken off of it, but you should have never been in that situation. Because immediately once you come out there and you see the down flat and you see the tight end, just throw it at his feet. Now we got 2nd and 10 instead of now the crowd is into it and the band is playing.
Guys.
Because you've just given up a pick six. He needs to do a better job of understanding situation.
Guys.
The whole thing, the best thing a quarterback can do is understand situation football. Tom Brady was the greatest at this. He could tell within the first 2 series of the game, I need to throw for 350, 400, or this is going to be a game I cannot turn it over. And not enough quarterbacks have a very good understanding of that. Daniel Jones has a terrible understanding of situation, but he does a horrible job of protecting the football and putting his team in harm's way.
Guys, to the both of you, I really, really appreciate the analysis, the eloquence with which you articulated your thoughts about Mr. Daniel Jones. And believe me, it's needed, it's required. But certain things in life are very, very simple. There's no need to complicate it. The high point for the New York Giants last year was that Tommy DeVito, not Danny DeVito, Tommy DeVito showed up on the roster and won 3 games, including a Monday night game against the Green Bay Packers, okay, where he ended up being Offensive Player of the Week. That was the high point for the New York Giants, a team that went out and gave $40 million a year to their quarterback. Think about that for a second. If that's your high point, It tells you how bad they are as a team, and it tells you how bad they feel about their quarterback position. It ain't that complicated.
All right.